Exposing the brutal realities of human trafficking. Human trafficking, the darkest stain on humanity's conscience. It's a billion-dollar industry thriving on the exploitation of the vulnerable, the desperate, and even the unsuspecting. Today, we're not holding back. We're diving deep into the brutal truths of human trafficking, how it operates, the methods traffickers use to lure victims, and what you can do to stay safe. This isn't just another video, this is your wake-up call. Human trafficking isn't just about transporting people across borders. It's a modern form of slavery where people are exploited through force, fraud, or coercion. Victims can be anyone: women, men, children. Trafficking takes many forms, including forced labor, sexual exploitation, organ trafficking, and even child soldiers in conflict zones. The International Labour Organization estimates that nearly 25 million people are trapped in forced labor and sexual exploitation worldwide. But these aren't just numbers. They are real lives being destroyed every single day. Now let's get to the heart of it. How do traffickers lure people into their traps? They don't walk around with "trafficker" written on their foreheads. Their methods are sophisticated, manipulative, and terrifyingly effective. Traffickers often pose as legitimate employers offering jobs abroad or in high-demand industries. They promise well-paying work as nannies, construction workers, models, or even tech professionals. Desperate for a better life, victims sign contracts or hand over their personal information, only to find themselves trapped. For example, modeling agencies are a common front for luring young women into sex trafficking. Victims are promised fame and fortune, but instead they're coerced into prostitution. Traffickers prey on emotions. They use dating apps, social media, or even in-person encounters to build romantic relationships with their victims. Once trust is established, the victim is manipulated into traveling or performing acts they wouldn't normally agree to. Imagine thinking you've met the love of your life, only to find out they've sold you to a trafficking ring. This isn't fiction. It's a reality for thousands. While less common, outright abductions do occur, especially in regions where law enforcement is weak. Children walking home from school, women jogging in parks, anyone can be targeted. Traffickers often use vans or other inconspicuous vehicles for quick kidnappings. Victims are told they must repay a debt, often for their transportation or housing. This debt is artificially inflated and impossible to pay off. Victims are then forced to work under inhumane conditions, often without pay. Social media platforms are hunting grounds for traffickers. They use fake profiles to connect with vulnerable individuals, especially teenagers. They promise fame, friendships, or opportunities, only to manipulate victims into compromising situations. Parents, this is your warning. Know who your kids are talking to online. The most chilling cases are those where family members sell their own relatives into trafficking. In poverty-stricken areas, traffickers target families, offering money in exchange for a child or spouse. It's crucial to know the red flags of a potential trafficking situation. Too good to be true offers. If someone promises you a high-paying job with no experience required, be skeptical. Pressure to travel. Traffickers often push victims to relocate quickly, leaving no time to verify details. Restricted communication. If you're asked to keep things secret or cut off contact with loved ones, it's a major warning sign. Confiscation of documents. Traffickers frequently seize passports and IDs to prevent escape. Let's not sugarcoat this. Victims of trafficking endure unimaginable suffering. Those forced into sex work face daily physical and emotional abuse. Labor trafficking victims are subjected to grueling work hours, malnutrition, and violence. And it doesn't end there. Survivors often face stigma, PTSD, and a lack of resources to rebuild their lives. Governments and NGOs worldwide are working to combat trafficking. Hotlines have been set up, laws have been strengthened, and awareness campaigns launched. But here's the harsh truth. It's not enough. Corruption, lack of enforcement, and the sheer scale of trafficking make it nearly impossible to eradicate. So what can you do to stay safe? Knowledge is power. The more you understand the tactics traffickers use, the less likely you are to fall victim. Share this information with your friends and family. Research any company offering you work. Call their offices, check reviews, and don't hesitate to ask questions. Be cautious about who you interact with on social media. Don't share personal information with strangers. If something feels off, trust your instincts. Report suspicious activities to local authorities or trafficking hotlines. Human trafficking thrives in silence. By talking about it, sharing stories, and staying informed, we can fight back. This isn't just about protecting ourselves, it's about saving lives. If you found this video insightful and want to explore more stories like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. At Crime Chrono, we dive into the darkest chapters of human history to shed light on what others would rather ignore. Subscribe now, and let's uncover the truth together.